Hey guys, let's get ready with Lakeview Medium and Tarot. I was catching up on some video, YouTube video watching while I was doing some writing. And as you can tell from the background, I'm downstairs with my nieces. And I came across a video response that first video I came across was Lisa at Tarot Alchemist doing a video response to the lovely Luna Solare, who posted her very first tarot tag. And it's 10 questions, but the questions that she asks on them are so great. They're so great. And so I saw Tarot Alchemist's response to it. I saw Diane's at Mystical Haven responded to her, and Two of Owl. No, not Two of Owls. No, not Chase. Two Spirit. That's who it was. Two Spirit. Also did a video response to her, and so I thought I would jump on it too. And they're great questions. So her tag is hashtag 10 spirit tarot tag. I'll add the link to the video down below so you guys can check it out, because she has all the questions written out in the description box. So the first question is, what's your most spiritual tarot deck that you own? For the longest time, and even now, there's only one that I can truly say is a spiritual deck for me. I have it down here. It's always with me. And that is my Shadowscapes. It was my second deck that I kind of ever gotten. This one I purchased for myself. And it created such a resonance within me, with my clients, that it just, no words can describe this deck that I have in my head. But this is definitely one of those decks. That's my most spiritual one. I recently received a deck that I had pre-ordered, and it is giving me that same feeling that this one does, which is kind of funny because I bought it a bit on a whim, not sure how I was gonna feel towards it, and it's kind of surprised me. And that's actually the second edition of the Beautiful Creatures tarot, which is interesting to work with, that's for sure. That's a different video on its own. So question number 2. Sorry, I'm going to move my camera so I can see the questions on the screen. Question number 2. Do you use tarot as a magical tool? Examples: spellcrafting, pathworking, manifestation. If so, how? Yes, all of the above. Spellcrafting, I will use the card depending on what I'm trying to achieve. Pathworking, obviously, I love going into the card and kind of being in that space, and looking around in that perspective. Same as manifestation. I have 2 decks always on my altar for that purpose alone, and it is the Isis Oracle and the Wildwood Tarot. Excuse me. And those are those 2 decks. That's the purpose of those decks, is for my my workings. So yeah. Question number 3. How did you learn tarot? I am self-taught. I received my first tarot deck when I was 15. That was gifted to me. And only because my mom saw me struggle, I think, with people when I would give people readings, because I didn't use any form of divination tool. And I think it made a lot of people uncomfortable how someone could know so much about certain things without using anything. And so she introduced me to the tarot, and I've been learning ever since. So, yeah. Question number 4. What's your least favorite tarot card? Why? If you could, how would you change it? For me, my least favorite tarot deck, excuse me, artistically least favorite would probably have to be the 8 of Wands. Seeing 8 wands flying through the sky in all your typical Rider-Waite Smith deck, for me, it just, I don't know. That specific card and that specific artwork just doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. I have a bunch of cards, obviously, a bunch of decks that interpret it very differently. And I love that. But for me, that's definitely one of my least favorite. I'm like trying to find, when you try to find a card and it's never around, and it's usually always the last one on the pile. Yeah, it's just, it'd be nice to see, besides just the movement in the sky, something else that card could represent. I think I might have passed it. Sorry, it was the third to last card. This one I like. See, this one for me, I really enjoy seeing her being the cause of that movement. Or is she? Did she just hold her hand out and movement happened on its own? There's just more to the card than wands in the air. Anyways, for me, that's the card I don't like. My least favorite. Question number 5. Do you prefer reading for yourself or going to someone for extensive readings? Funny story I have on this one. I like reading for myself, personally. Always have. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy going to someone to go get a reading. It's always nice to get that, what's the word I'm looking for? Not perspective, but just being on the other end, I should say, of a reading. But I really enjoy giving myself readings, because I'm lucky enough that I'm able to put aside any personal look on the cards. I will take the cards as they are. I'm not going to be one of those people that, I don't like these cards, so stick them back in and reshuffle. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have that issue sometimes. And I know I do as well, but I refuse to stick them back in the deck. I've had some really interesting experiences at one point in the past. When I lived in the Vancouver area, my husband had a psychic he used to really like going to. And so he took me there just after we had gotten married. And because I was having a hard time like finding job and all this stuff. And, she did a really great job in the tarot. Like, she was very intuitive. She knew exactly what, everything to me made sense. Until she gets to the part of, you're surrounded by a lot of dark energies, heavy clouds. I can remove these energies and these clouds, but it's going to cost you $600. I'm like, wow. Yeah, my husband, don't get me wrong. He still to this day anytime we go into Vancouver for a visit for family and friends, he wants to go see this person. because in his thing, it's worth the money to go and see her because she's able to fix the problems. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, it's nice to go to somebody else for a reading, but I do them on my own. Question number 6. If you were to have a conversation with any one of the archetypes in the tarot, which one would it be? What type of personality would they have? That's a good question. If I had to choose one of the archetypes, maybe the Hermit. I would want to learn from the Hermit. It's his or her wisdom. You know, you're looking at someone who probably has an extensive knowledge of the world. Extensive. Beyond probably what we could even imagine. To me, the Hermit would be someone very Merlin-like, or Gandalf, you know, from Lord of the Rings. That type of you know, knowledgeable beyond extent of the cosmos, you know, like that type of whatever I'm trying to say. What kind of personality would they have? I would have to say very grandfather or grandmotherly. Very warm, even though they're recluse. They extend that to you. They offer it to you willingly if you're willing to accept. That's to me what I would think. Question number 7. Have you ever thought of creating your own tarot deck? No. I mean, who doesn't though, right? It for us, we deal with tarot, tarot oracle or Norman, whatever, on a day-to-day basis. We look at these beautiful images. I'm pretty sure everybody has thought of that. What if I can make the next, like Lisa says, the next big fantastical tarot deck? I'm just not. No. I'm not that creative. I can give ideas for other people. If you guys want to create a tarot deck, call me. I'll help you with ideas. That's as far as it goes. No. Question number 8. What's the one card you fear of getting in a reading and why? I have more than one card, and for me it's all the cards that put forward emotional turbulence. Does that make sense? So things like the Tower, the Three of Swords. I was going to say Three of Hearts. The Three of Swords, the Ten of Swords. Anything that has that, emotional disturbances. What is wrong with my wordage today? Like that type of card that it's going to hit you, like in your gut or in your soul, like that type of you're bracing for the absolute worst, because something really is going to hit you hard. Yeah, those for me are the cards that I don't like when I see them, when they come up. But question number 9, what system do you prefer, Rider-Waite, Thoth, or Marseille? I'm a Rider-Waite girl. I am. I have a Thoth deck that I recently purchased with a companion book, just a little mini one. I should try to bring it down one day. And I haven't worked with it enough, and it's just like everything else. You need to practice and you need to learn and you need to kind of like study more, I guess, but I haven't really gotten the grasp of it yet. In regards to Marseille, I don't have a Marseille deck at all. I wouldn't mind purchasing one to keep in my collection for the sake of it. I've only known really Rider-Waite, and that's kind of, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the Rider-Waite. And the last question, question number 10. Do you use tarot spreads? If yes, which is your favorite? If no, why? Yes and no. Most of the time, majority of the time, I'm just laying out cards. I don't really have spreads. But sometimes something will pop into my head, or a specific spread will pop into my head, and that's the layout I kind of use. One of the recent ones that I've totally fallen in love with was, I think, Arwen. In one of Arwen's videos, she mentions it, I think. And it's the Journey in the Woods. Yes, I think it was Arwen. A Journey into the Woods tarot spread. It's like 6 cards. And it's just certain things that you see on this magical journey through this path that's leading you down to whatever destination. And it's an amazing spread. But most of the time it's just laying down cards, really. But yeah, that's it. That's her 10 questions. That's Luna Solare's 10 questions. Hashtag Spirit Tarot Tag. And I will definitely leave the link to her video down below. And yeah, that's it for today, you guys. We'll see you later. Bye.